Okay, welcome to another video. It's Wednesday. I've got literally 2 or 3 hours where we can get out and try and catch a fish. I've been meaning to try out the line through Roach for the last couple of months now. I keep looking at them, I keep thinking no, we'll keep it for a nice evening. And really you're not going to get better than that. It's super conditions, maybe not so much for pike fishing, but for just enjoying the sunshine. So I'm gonna get out and have a look at that, and yeah, hopefully get some fish. Okay, and here's what we're going to start with. So as I said, I'm going to use the line through Roach, smaller versions. The water's crystal clear here today, so to be honest, it'll be the perch pattern on the Roach, I think, more than the fire tiger. You'll wonder why I'm keeping my voice down. It's quite a public area. There's people everywhere, walking dogs, fishing, whatever, you name it, they're here. So 100% I'm going to get caught talking to myself a few times this evening, but oh well, let's see what happens. I'm going to start off with the perch one. As I said, crystal clear water. That guy's going to stand out a lot better, and yeah, my money's on this one. Okay, first cast. Definitely think the perch pattern was the good option. You can literally see 10 foot to the bottom of where I am now. The water's that clear, so it just makes it that little bit more tricky when you're trying to deceive a pike into taking your bait. The good thing with these smaller version of the line through Roach is they're really slow sink, so I can just bring that in just as casual as I like. And the movement of it just, it's great, as you can see. So for those that don't know, and I'm sure 99% of the angling population of Northern Ireland will know exactly where I am, and it's a place called Lochall Lake. And it does get a lot of pressure, but it also has quite a good number of pike in it. And there we go. Just as I said that, we get nailed. I don't think it's very big. But what was that, third cast? So the proof's in the pudding then. Line through Roach. Catches fish. Look at that clear water. That's awesome. Oh wow, that's amazing. Doesn't get any better than that, even though it's only a small fish. You can see that fighting the whole way in. And this is why it's important then to have a good net with a long pole. Some of the jetties here there's quite a fair drop into the lake. Right, I think she's about ready. There we go, nice and easy. Great start. Fish on the third cast. So I'll just keep it there on top of the mat just until it settles down a bit so it doesn't damage itself. I'll get the net spread out. You know, if you are going to fish this place, bring a net with a long pole and bring an unhooking mat. The jetty is no place for the fish to be bouncing about on its own. But we'll get the hooks out and we'll get it back. Okay, there's the prize. A few wee damage on his fins, probably from spawning, a few wee nicks here and there. But he's a very welcome fish, and to be honest, I thought it was going to blank. All the years that I've fished this place, and trust me, I've fished it a lot. It's very close to where I live. I've always found that the pike always to be tight to the jetties. There's a huge drop off right at the edge of where the jetties are, and I always just found that to be the prime spot of where the pike usually were always hiding. So I'll not spend too much time on each jetty. Dog walker's about to throw sticks in there. And ruin my swim. Yeah, so Sam, I'll not spend too much time in each jetty. Move maybe 5-6 jetties each time. Cover as much ground as possible. As I said, it's only a quick 2-3 hour session at most. Try to walk out to the edge of the jetty quite easy usually. And what you normally hear the pike going swimming away like mad underneath it. You guys probably won't pick it up on the camera, but the amount of bait fish around here is insane. This place was always full of minnows and spricks and juvenile bait fish. You always used to wonder why the pike would ever take a lure or a dead bait in here. The same principle. Try in close first. 1 or 2 casts into the deep and then move on. It's probably my favourite peg on the lake. It's right up into the top corner. So there's a bit of an island here. And the pegs, jetties, whatever you want to call them, start again at the other side. So this is the last bit into the cove here, where you've got the island that separates it. And I just used to always love fishing here. Back in the day, whenever the bream were a lot more prevalent here, the bream bags you used to get were just crazy. And I mean, you know, hundreds of pounds worth of bream. Easy filling 2 keep net fulls and 6-7 pound weight each. Now I certainly wouldn't condone that now. In fact, I'm completely against keep nets. I don't like them at all, but this is going back quite a few years ago in my younger days. But for whatever reason, the bream numbers just aren't here anymore. A few different theories. People believe it was the introduction of carp. Not really sure what to believe, to be honest. I think it was just the life cycle of that particular shoal had run its course, because they all seem to have died off literally at the same time. 1 year they were there, next minute they weren't. It's unfortunate, but I think it's just the way the cycle goes. Hopefully it'll come back someday. Used to be great fun. Right in tight to that weed bank. That deserves to get hit. Tree has fell here, but sort of... Oh, that was a hit there. Oh no! Too busy trying to point at friggin' trees. Ah. See what I mean about the pike? Tend to lay under the jetties and in between the jetties, and as soon as you come near them, then the scarper off. And there's one tip I can give anybody that's fishing here: don't parade out onto the jetties. Take your easy steps. Try not to make very much noise, because I promise you'll catch more fish if you try and be a bit more silent on the pegs. Fish aren't stupid. Exactly where I wanted that. Right in front of the jetty. Come on. Something has to be hiding in there. Oh, I told you. Yeah, another hit. Seem to be really shy nibbles. That's a couple of times now, because I know that that bait isn't going anywhere near the bottom because they're so slow sink, if that's even a proper term. So each time I get a knock, I know then it's nowhere near the bottom. But the pike just don't seem to want to properly nail it. Just not feeding right. We may need to swap the lures over. Something a bit more aggressive. Like a jerk bait or twitch bait, something along those lines. Something to try and invoke attack more than a feeding fish. Hello. Are you here to interrupt my fishing? You alright? Okay, so we're switching on to another new bait, and it is called the Shine Glider 180. Never really used these before, in all honesty. Very similar to a jerkbait, if not basically the same as what a jerkbait is. Same sort of ladder movement, same principle. So we'll give this a rattle for a while. Just a completely different movement to what the line through Roach was. I don't need to make any excuses for the line through Roach. Listen, everybody knows what sort of bait they are. Phenomenal baits. Every lure has its day. Some things just have a different action that the pike tend to want on that particular day. And sometimes it's just up to you to break the code. Quite a good wide movement in it. So it's not like it's normal jerkbaits where you need to give it a good pop with a rod tip sometimes. This bait basically does it all on its own. In fact, I've found that if you try to pop the rod tip with this, if you jerk it, it sort of inclines to get sort of wrapped around the trace and doesn't swim right. Oh, there's a pike. There's a pike that's come out after it. Is he still there? No, he's not there. Don't know if you've seen that or not. Just a big boil up behind the bait. So that was, what, second, third cast? Not quite sure with that bait. Maybe a bit more. Maybe being a bit over dramatic there. But that's the first bit of interest now in about an hour from that very first fish with the line through Roach. So maybe this is maybe what they're after. That's good, I like that. Bit of action. So whenever I'm going, obviously on a quick session, as I said, 2-3 hours at the most, I throw in a bit of everything just to make sure I'm covered. You've got goby shads, I have the line through Roach, I've got some curly tails, I've got that, which I actually didn't know I had with me. So the line through rattle perch, that could be an excellent shout actually for in here, so I might give that a go next. Glad I had a look. Yeah, I've got spinner baits, I've got the smelt, twitch and roll, I've got, listen, there's a bit of everything in there. If I don't have it with me here today, I'm certainly I'm missing a trick, I think, but I'm just about covered with everything. So yeah, let's hopefully can crack the code and find out what they want. Okay. Times get tough. Get her goby out. Last chance saloon. We're right up at the far end now. First cast. So we're sort of run out of time. We've only really got fishing one side of it. Homework and things like that. Kids need bath. It's the joys of midweek fishing. There's not really much you can do by the time you finish work and get sorted and leave the house. So yeah, only a quick 2-hour session. But we didn't blank, and that's the main thing, be it was only a tiny fish. Even a small fish makes it just that wee bit more worthwhile. Oh, just as I said that. It feels like there's a bit of weight to this one. Yeah, it's not a bad fish. And potentially the last spot. And we've had a nice one. Well, when you say a nice one, whenever you've just been hitting jacks and then all of a sudden you get a reasonably nice fish like that. There you go. Oh. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's the goby shad at the top of the net and the fish is at the bottom, and that's what you call a quick unhooking method. I definitely meant that. Didn't I tell you? I have so much faith in this lure that it's disgusting. I've relied on it so much. When things get tough, this guy comes out, and to be honest, it's never really let me down. It always seems to produce, always. What a lure. So there you go. Lovely fish. That potentially could be a big meal because it's solid. The stomach is completely solid. All the fish in here have spawned, so that could be a meal, quite a big one. I'm not quite sure. Great fish to end the day on. Bit of markings on the side, but we'll get it back. And what a sight in the clear water. So it was first cast with the goby shad up in the top corner. And that fish interrupted me, as I was saying. Even getting the small fish made my trip. I'm super happy with that. To get that has made my week. And that's it. So yeah, 2.5 hours, 2 fish, 1 on the 3rd cast. I thought we were going to be in for maybe a bit of a feeding spell, but it didn't turn out that way. A lot of fish sort of nipping at the tails of different lures and biting, and had a couple of follows as well that you probably didn't see on the camera. So there's definitely a bit of interest. The fish are definitely on the move a lot more in terms of maybe wanting to take lures, but they just weren't feeding properly. So as I normally do, I broke out the big gun, which was obviously the spotted bullhead and a goby shad, which you've seen countless times, never failed. It always seems to produce. Such an excellent lure. Really, really love it. But yeah, so look, thanks for tuning in. Quick evening session. We've got a couple of fish. One reasonably nice one that I'm happy with on a lure, especially from this venue. Stunning venue. Close to home. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. The big lure challenge with DB fishing is due out this weekend, I believe, so keep your eye out for that. And yeah, see you soon.